Welcome to the Oracle CloudWorld 2022. My name is Simon Coter. I'm Director of Product Management team for Linux and virtualization at Oracle. So today responsible for the product management of products like Oracle Linux, Oracle Cloud Native Environment, virtualization solutions we have at Oracle like Oracle Linux KVM, as well as VirtualBox. Today I'm going to share with you and talk with you about how to build custom Linux images for cloud deployment. And obviously, I'm going to share with you everything that is there, and it's today public available for you, as well as how you can build your own custom Oracle Linux images, right, relying on existing code that our developers built. So, an important thing to share with you is that everything I'm going to talk about, mostly on possible future topics, are not going to be a commitment to deliver any kind of material or code or functionality into the Oracle products, right? So everything that I'm going to talk about the future could change, and so there's no real commitment, right? And I also would like to give you the time to possibly read our own safe harbor statement. Again, it's just related to the future, right? What is there, what is public available, there's commitment coming from Oracle. Related to the future, our plans, could change. So let's start from the concept. At Oracle, we have the concept of the open hybrid cloud software, right? And with open hybrid cloud software, we mean an operating environment, not just the operating systems, but an operating environment able to run, does not matter where, right? And today with Oracle Linux, you can easily get the same operating system and the same ecosystem running on public cloud, on hybrid. That could mean both on premises as well as on the cloud, as well as just on premises. And the big advantage while leveraging Oracle Linux is that there's no real change, right, between the Oracle Linux that you can run on the cloud with the Oracle Linux that you can run on premises, right? And this kind of thing is valid for the entire Oracle Linux ecosystem. So when I say Oracle Linux ecosystem, I mean Oracle Linux, I mean Oracle Linux KVM, so the hypervisor, the virtualization solution we have at Oracle, the Oracle Cloud Native Environment, so the Kubernetes solution we have there with Oracle Linux. That said, it's always important to remind that Oracle Linux is also 100% binary compatible with Red Hat Enterprise Linux. And it's also enhanced. And we are also going to see why Oracle Linux is also enhanced. Another important thing related to the open hybrid cloud software is related to K-Sply zero downtime solution we have there for Oracle Linux, as well as other Linux distributions. K-Sply allows to install security fixes on your Linux system without restarting any kind of service or without rebooting your system. That means no outage while installing security fixes. So Oracle Linux is today everywhere, and it's used by Oracle everywhere. So if you want, Oracle is one of the most important customers for Oracle Linux. And let me also explain why. Today, the entire Oracle Cloud infrastructure is relying on Oracle Linux, right? And this is very important thing about Oracle Linux. If you think to all the possible Linux distributions, enterprise Linux distribution that today are there on the market, there's no Linux distribution that is leveraged by a cloud vendor, right, as the foundation for their cloud infrastructure. Oracle Linux is the foundation of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. And the same Oracle Linux is also shared with you. The same Oracle Linux can run for your own services on the cloud as well as on premises. Oracle Linux is also the foundation of our Oracle engineered systems. And maybe the most famous one is the Oracle Exadata. The entire Oracle Exadata solution runs today on top of Oracle Linux. Last but not least, MySQL HeadWave. Right, even MySQL HeadWave today relies on Oracle Linux. Right, so the fast performance or the most performance MySQL solution today relies on Oracle Linux. And so if you think to Oracle Linux, it's a great distribution, and it's enhanced, as I said before, just because into Oracle Linux, at Oracle, we address all the requirements coming from different business units, right? Like the Oracle Cloud one, the Oracle Exadata one, as well as the MySQL one. And so the big advantage while leveraging Oracle Linux is that you're also going to get all the advantages, all the enhancement that have been added to Oracle Linux due to internal requirements we have at Oracle. In our business unit, as I said before, we today manage Oracle Linux as well as many other different solutions. And it's important to know that we are working on a continuous product innovation. If we look at the last year, for example, related to Oracle Linux, we introduced Oracle Linux 9 and the Unbreakable Enterprise Kernel Release 7. And just to give you a brief overview, Unbreakable Enterprise Kernel is the Linux kernel entirely developed by Oracle, right? So we rely obviously on the Linux upstream Linux kernel, and we build, starting from there, the Unbreakable Enterprise Kernel for Oracle Linux. So it's where Oracle address all the requirements coming from internally, as well as coming from all of our customers today relying on Oracle Linux for their services. It's important to know that with Oracle Linux 9, we immediately introduced the support for solutions like KSplice, OSMS, Oracle Linux Automation Manager, as well as Oracle Linux Manager. And today, Oracle Linux 9 and the Unbreakable Enterprise Kernel Release 7 are there and available for both x86, so AMD, Intel platforms, as well as the ARM, and so ARC64, right? So the same Oracle Linux is there for all of those platforms, and there's no real difference between the releases we have there. Moving ahead, and this is the other big topic we introduced this year is related to Oracle VM VirtualBox. On Oracle VM VirtualBox, we have announced the new major release for Oracle VM VirtualBox, that is the 7.0 release, and obviously. I think that all of you already knows what VirtualBox is, but it's important to know that into this release, we did a huge step ahead. It's a huge step ahead for everyone today running VirtualBox. So it could be very nice to leverage the updated release for developers, as well as system administrators, operation, and so on. The most important thing that we introduced there with VirtualBox 7 is related to the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure integration. So today, while running Oracle VM VirtualBox 7, you have one unique user interface where you have the ability and the capability to manage all of your development as well as production environments running locally on top of VirtualBox, as well as all of your environments running on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. And it's important also to share with you that with VirtualBox, by 3-4 clicks on the UI, you can easily get your local virtual machine exported and running as an instance on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or vice versa. You can get an instance running on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure imported and running on your own laptop. Into this release, we also introduced many other enhancements. One of them is related to the 3D graphic support. But if you are interested in this, I would suggest you to possibly get there on the announcement that we have on the virtualization blog at Oracle, and over there you can see all the details related to this release. Another important point, another important topic we are working on is related to cloud native application deployment, right? Today at Oracle, we have two solutions called Oracle Verasano and Oracle Cloud Native Environment, where at the end, Oracle Cloud Native Environment gives you the Kubernetes infrastructure. So gives you Kubernetes management, even multi-cluster Kubernetes management, networking, persistent storage, package management, and so on. So everything related to the infrastructure is there on Oracle Cloud Native Environment. While with Oracle Verzzano runs on top of Oracle Cloud Native environment, runs on top of Kubernetes. With Oracle Verzzano, you really get on a higher level, you really get to the application management, right? And it's important to know that the entire solution, so both Oracle Verzzano and Oracle Cloud Native environment, are relying on CNCF, so Compute Native Foundation, and so on open source projects. And so while leveraging this kind of option, you're not going to get any kind of lock-in. And yeah, even this option, so the cloud native application deployment, is an option that is there and can run on premises as well as on the cloud. Integrated management solution. So within the Oracle Linux ecosystem, as we said, we have the Oracle Linux operating system. Obviously, we have KVM for the server virtualization. We have their VirtualBox for desktop virtualization or development environment, cloud native for Kubernetes and container management. But that said, on top of all of these, we also have an different integrated management solution. Over there, we have Oracle Linux Automation Manager. It's another option that is there in the Oracle Linux ecosystem that gives you access to Ansible and AWX. So it's a solution built on two open source projects, AWX as well as Ansible. It gives you a portal or a service where to possibly automate any kind of step, any kind of configuration change, any kind of management point for your entire ecosystem. We have OS management. It's a service. OS management is a service that is there on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure that give you at the end fleet management for your entire ecosystem. That could include Oracle Linux, could include even third-party Linux distribution, as well as Microsoft Windows. And last but not least, on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, we also today have there Autonomous Linux, right? Autonomous Linux is an option available on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. It's built and relying on top of Oracle Linux, and it's going to be the autonomous solution. Unique in the market, so there's no real other solution going to give you this kind of service. And obviously, Autonomous Linux reduces complexity and human error, right? As well as helps increase the security and the availability for your services. So while moving to the images, right? Today we have more deployment options, or more deployment options are there for an IT infrastructure, right? So you can easily talk about VMs, virtual machines, as well as containers. So it's important to know that today, public available and public available for free, you can easily get access to many different types of images with Oracle Linux there. Starting from the left, so we have container images. And the good point here is that those container images are OCI compliant, so reflects the Open Container Initiative compliancy. And those container images we have there could be easily leveraged by standalone container tools like Podman, as well as Kubernetes. Over there we have Oracle Linux 7, Oracle Linux 8, as well as Oracle Linux 9 container images. The important thing to know is that for each major release of Oracle Linux, we also have a slim option that is going to be really reduced in terms of size, right? And this kind of option could be interesting while trying to reduce the number of packages installed on the system, also just for security purposes. That said, while moving to virtualization or VM images, public available today, we have KVM, or let's call them generic cloud images, right? Those images could be leveraged with private as well as public cloud solutions. So while getting access to those images, you can leverage them and run, for example, on premises on Oracle Linux KVM, or even on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure with Oracle Linux KVM, or could also be run on third-party cloud. So those are real generic images that could easily run on any cloud as well as on premises. And those images follows the, let's say, the automation, standard automation cloud image, right? So those images are built and relies on Cloud Init for the configuration of the same while executing the first boot. Moving ahead, another type of images today public available, and those are really, really interesting for developers. We have Vagrant images for Oracle Linux 7, 8, and 9, and all of those could be easily leveraged on your own laptop while running, for example, on top of VirtualBox, right? So if you do not know Vagrant, I would suggest you to give it a try and leverage the same with Oracle VM VirtualBox. At the end, this kind of solution is going to give you the opportunity to run a VM, an Oracle Linux VM on your own laptop or on your own development environment in around 1 minute and not more than that, right? And this is also why I'm going now to share with you a quick recording, a quick video about this kind of demo. So I'm going to show you how, for example, you can get an Oracle Linux 9 up and running on your Mac in less than a minute. Yeah, so as you can see here on my personal MacBook, I executed 2 commands, nothing more than that, 2 commands. And in less than a minute, I got an Oracle Linux 9 system up and running. And just to share with you my personal experience, as a product manager, I also like to get technical more than one time. As soon as I need to get access to, let's say, a sandbox system, where to try something, where to test something, where to check if an issue is really there, or maybe a patch fixed that kind of problem, or I would like to reproduce an issue. Yeah, Vagrant and VBox are really, really, really doing my day every day, right? I can just execute a couple of commands, I can get an Oracle Linux system up and running, do my test, and then immediately after, by executing one single command, destroy that VM. That's all. So it's really great. And yeah, again, I would suggest you to really try and give it a try, right, to this kind of option. Yeah, and the good point, yeah, that I forgot to say, as soon as you're going to build and have an image running or a system running with Vagrant and VirtualBox, it's also important to remember that you can easily export to the Oracle Cloud with 3-4 clicks on the UI, or even you can export into the OVF, so Open Virtualization Format, and that VM could be exported and to then imported on your production environment, right? And Vagrant is also a great solution because it allows you to automate many different things while starting up your VM. Okay. Yeah, now we are seeing that public available, we have different images for Kubernetes or standalone container. We have images for KVM and for server virtualization. We have also images for desktop virtualization. But that said, the desire could also be to build your custom, right, or customized Oracle Linux images. And again, here, yeah, something great that we have done at Oracle, and my colleagues did it. Yeah, we shared with you the code that we rely on to build our own images, right? So this code has been shared and it's publicly available on GitHub. I'm going to share with you the URL. So this is really, really cool because everything that you can get access to build your own custom images is the code that we're today leveraging and using to build our official Oracle Linux images. So today, public available on GitHub, we have code that will give you the opportunity to build custom Oracle Linux images for Oracle Linux 7, 8, and 9 for both x86 as well as R platforms. This kind of automation and code that we are sharing with you there will give you the opportunity to build Oracle Linux images for Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, Microsoft Azure, Oracle Linux KVM, Oracle VM VirtualBox for Vagrant or libvirt for Vagrant, as well as generic cloud, right? At the end, if you think this kind of code we are sharing with you will give you the opportunity to build the image for wherever you want to run Oracle Linux, right? So let's see how it works. While leveraging this code that we have shared there are some build requirements, obviously. First of all, the environment. You're required to have access to an Oracle Linux 7 or an Oracle Linux 8 system. And obviously you're also required to have root privileges, right, to possibly mount the generated images there. Sudo is an option, right? So you don't really need the root password or connect with root directly. Sudo is also an option. Related to the software you need, you obviously need Git, just because you have to clone the GitHub repository that is publicly available. You also need to install HashiCorp Packer as well as VirtualBox on your machine, and other utilities that are part also of Oracle Linux, like KFRTX as well as QEMU IMG to possibly manage the images or the artifacts of your images. Disk space, twice the size of your images, right? What does it mean? It means that if the image I'm going to build is going to be 30 gigabytes in size, you will be required to have 60 gigabytes of freed up on your disk. That said, the other build requirement is to just clone the Oracle Linux GitHub repository that is there and public available, to then change directory to the proper Oracle Linux image tools folder. Next step is the environment setup, right? There's a file that at the end defines what you would like to get created, right? There's a file named env properties, and over there you have so many different options that allows you to customize how your Oracle Linux image is going to be built and which type of Oracle Linux image you're going to build, which release and so on, and which packages are going to be part of the image, which are not going to be part, which the type of your image, so the cloud or the target of your image. And that's it. So over there, we have so many different configuration options. The good point is that into the same env properties files, we also have a description of what those options do. But that said, the important thing is that there's a minimal configuration, right? And those are the 5 environment properties that have to be correctly populated. The first one is related to the workspace. So at the end, the path or the directory where you're going to work and where the image is going to be built. ISO URL, so the location of your Oracle Linux distribution ISO, the location of Oracle Linux 7 ISO, Oracle Linux 8 ISO, or 9. And I want to remind that those ISOs are publicly available for free on yam.oracle.com website. The possible ISO checksum, just to be sure that you have a correct or a good ISO for Oracle Linux. That said, the cloud, so the target, which kind of image you're going to build. Azure, it's for Azure, it's for OCI, it's for KVM, it's for Oracle VM, it's for VirtualBox. So at the end, which kind of image you're going to build. And that said, the Packer builder. So obviously, while installing Packer, we talked about the requirements before. You have two different options that could be leveraged as a builder. One of them is part of VirtualBox, and the other one is part of QEMU. And you can leverage one of the two. And obviously, as I already said, further customization is also available, right? This one is just the minimal configuration while building your own image. Further customization is also available while working on this process. That said, once you have your environment properties files in place and correctly configured, the next step is to just run the builder. And so by the script that is called build image, you will have to pass the environment file that you properly configured, and that's all. That's all. Your image is going to be built, and your image will be there and available. So it's a very easy process. And the good point is that as soon as you get there and you have your proper environment file configured, you will be able to, as soon as a release, an updated release that could be minor or major, is going to be out or is going to be public available, immediately after that, you will be able to build your own image, your own updated image for Oracle Linux, right? You will just need to re-execute the command by leveraging the updated ISO and that's all. Yeah, another thing I would like to share with you about this kind of tool is that the interesting point here is that if you think to a possible multi-cloud or hybrid cloud environment, this kind of solution is going to give you the opportunity to always build the same Oracle Linux image, right? The same Oracle Linux image that addresses all of your requirements, and that can run on many different cloud vendors, many different hypervisors, but the image is going to stay and to be the same, right? So it does not matter if you're going to build an image for Azure as well as an image for KVM, you will get the same image, right? In terms of software installed, in terms of configuration of the operating system, you will get the same image. And this one is quite unique, right? Because you will be sure that there won't be any difference, for example, from your development environment running on premises on top of KVM and maybe your production environment running on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, right? Both of them will rely on the same kind or the same, let's say, configuration for the operating system, just because this is what you have built thanks to this kind of automation. That said, I also would like to share with you more details about this kind of tool. So obviously the URL where to get access to this utility, as well as a blog entry that is there on the Oracle Linux blog that shows you a very quick example on how to leverage this tool to possibly build a custom Oracle Linux image. So, as already said, we think at Oracle, that Oracle Linux is quite unique, right? It's an enterprise Linux distribution. It's the foundation for a cloud vendor. It's leveraged by engineered system. It's leveraged by thousands and thousands of on-prem customers. And and it's today available on the cloud. So as we said, it's there on OCI, it's there on Azure, it's there on any generic cloud. It's there for on-prem environments, it's there for Oracle Linux KVM, it's there for private cloud appliance. And we know that we also have customers running Oracle Linux on VMware, right? So it's there on premises, wherever you want. And it's also available for developers, right? Again, Oracle Linux is there, can be downloaded, can be updated for free. So even developers can leverage the same Oracle Linux that runs in the cloud or on premises for production services. That said, I would like to thank you, everyone, for the time dedicated to this session. Again, my name is Simon Coter. I'm there on different socials, so feel free to reach out if you have any kind of question related to Oracle Linux and virtualization solutions we have at Oracle. And again, thank you and have a nice day.